Well, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Ham Radio Basics Live, Season 4, Episode 33, Ham Radio News and Updates, 8/19/2026. Hope everyone's doing well. I'm going to shut off the big light because there's too much light here, so hang on just a second. And I'm going to shut the curtains here. Okay, that's better. Hope everybody's doing well. Andy's here. Sergeant Rock is here. Welcome, guys. I know Cooley's in Alabama, of all places. I don't think he's going to Huntsville, though. I think he's going to be on vacation there, maybe visiting some family, friends over there. So that's why he's not. Waypoint New England, welcome, my friend. Good to see you. Want to kind of start off some things here, just as and I know you guys, and I know Waypoint New England, Sergeant Rock are going to know what I'm going to say. Um, it's important to be a part of ARRL, and let me explain why. Okay, if not for the very reason that my other hobby, drones, is really kind of being sliced and diced by the federal government and the FCC right now, and it reeks of protectionism and all of the kind of things. We have a mechanism in place, and it's called ARRL. And they do things like the Spectrum Defense Fund, defend our bands that are out there, support them. I know, they do a lot of things that really, I'm not real crazy about, and that's neither here nor there. But we have an organization that is there for us and supporting us, and support them. Okay, if you really can be able to donate to them, do donate to them and become a member. There's so many benefits that you gain by that. One of the hidden benefits a lot of people don't know is you can purchase ham radio insurance for your equipment through them. So that would, if you're interested in doing something like that, and it's dirt cheap, and they are a good insurance. So you want to, your HTs and your transceivers and your antennas, you want to get them all insured, go for it. It's a very easy process. Plus, their books that they put out, some of the, my gosh, it's worth its weight in gold. The one from Sully Walt, all right, his antenna book. I mean, seriously, that's money. That is just absolute money. So so support them is what I'm trying to say, because as far as my drone hobby, we have we have the Drone Advocacy Alliance, which is good, and they're doing some things, but we don't really have a powerful lobbying interest in Washington, D.C., like ARRL. They are pretty powerful. They do hold some weight. So, that's kind of my spiel on that. Um, so yeah. So that's kind of where we're at. Waypoint New England. Cooley's on vacation this week. I think he's down in Alabama. I think he's visiting family, friends. I don't think he's going to the Huntsville Hamfest. Just to let you guys know, I was mistaken last week, and I apologize. I said the Huntsville Handfest is this weekend. Oh, Cooley, you're here. Welcome. Good to see you. Um, I was mistaken. I thought the Huntsville Hamfest was last weekend. It's this weekend, and there's a ton of things going on. Jason from Ham Radio 2.0, he's doing a lot of live streams and a lot of videos right now, so you can follow up. They're having a special thing at Gigaparts over there because that's where Gigaparts is located. They're having some food and some music and celebrations over there as well too. So sounds like a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to when I retire. Both Valerie and I can get out there, and I found that there are actually flights from Tampa, from over in St. Pete. Allegiant Airlines flies there, but the problem with Allegiant Airlines is they don't fly every day, so you may have to stay there 4 or 5 extra days beyond what you want to do. But there's plenty of things to do in Huntsville, so that's something that we're gonna seriously look at when that time comes. So, want to continue my top 10 list today of things we've been doing. It's been incredibly popular. The one from the new JNCRADIO is doing really well. I put that video out last week, and it's really kind of taken off. And I'm real interested to see how that's going to pan out. I don't know. We don't know. But, I'm real hopeful that that's really going to spark some good interest and really make a difference for everybody. So, um, and let's see here. Okay. Okay. Today we're going to talk about the top 10 things to like about the ICOM IC705. And let me go ahead and share my screen here. There we go. Okay. Top 10 things to like about the ICOM IC705. Why this compact all-band radio remains a portable favorite. And, of course, I am 100% biased here with this because that is my favorite transceiver. It's really kind of like my only one right now. I'm looking to get a 7300 Mark II after I retire, and so I can also focus on getting an antenna up in at my home here. So that's kind of where we're at on that. But it really just an exceptional radio. Obviously, it's one of the best purchases I've ever made regarding ham radio. So let's go ahead and move on to the second slide here. Now, built for the field, compact without feeling compromised. Approximately 2.4 pounds with a BP272 battery. Solid controls and a rugged portable layout. Equally comfortable at home or outdoors. A series radio you can actually carry. Now, you can see right back here, and if you have a 705, preaching to the choir, but this is the built-in battery back here, and there's two options for that. I have both of them, and what I do is I swap them out in my charger. I leave one in the radio, I leave one in the charger, and I swap those out. I have one of the higher-powered ones, and then I have one of the lower milliamp ones in there as well. So that kind of, I have a battery that's always ready for that, and that's something that I would suggest as well. Also, and I was going to get mine out, and I've had a crazy work has just been insane. I got a POV cage for it with a plastic screen protector on it, and I really like it, and it really makes it so it really truly is portable and it won't get damaged, and very, very, very. I could not have been more happy with it. It cost a pretty good coin to get that, but it's really doing its job. So I'm real comfortable with that. GPS has real utility, automatic clock synchronization, near me repeater search and scan, location logging, and DPRS position reporting. There are so many features on this radio. I could be here for an hour and probably not tell you all of them. It works so well. And one of the things that I will say about ICOM, and it's more ICOM than Yaesu that I found out. But if you look at the controls and the menu and the touchscreen on the 705, and say you go to the 7300, you see a lot, and the 9700, you see a lot of similarities here. And it was really interesting because when last time I went to Hamcation, I talked to Ray Novak, and Ray was saying the same thing. It's like he said, if you buy a General Motors product, when they used to have all the brands out there, if you bought an Oldsmobile certain brand and you bought a Chevy a certain brand, chances are really good they're going to have kind of the same layout as far as the dash and controls and where things are. That was real astute on Ray's part, bringing something like that up, because it's so easy. If you know the 705, you'll go right into the 7300 without any problems. It really lends itself to that. It's just truly in that kind of mode right here. Wi-Fi and Bluetooth reduce cable clutter, and it's real nice. I mean, it's so nice to have Wi-Fi with this, and it has a compatible Bluetooth headset support, which I've never used before. Network connectivity for remote operation, and again, that's something I haven't done before either. And it works with ICOM's optional RSBA1 software. I haven't done that as well because I'm just too busy. When I got the radio out, I'm chewing the rag on it, and I'm doing what I really like to do on this radio. So, and what you're seeing right now are positions from the side. This right here, this is the input for charging the battery right here. It's right here. You can charge the battery built in. You can charge the battery in the radio itself and a cradle. And I decided to go ahead and get a couple of cradles as well so I can keep batteries constantly charged for it. And it works really, really well. Let's go ahead here. Um, Digital modes are easy to deploy, a streamlined path to FT8 and more. USB carries radio control and audio. One-touch FT8 preset simplifies setup. Store as many as 5 operating presets. And again, I haven't done FT8 yet. That's one of those things that's on my bucket list of things to do after I retire because, like I said, I'm been just a little bit on the busy side. But not having those cables really helps with things like that. And having the USB carry the radio control and audio, that's really cool. That's really good. So it's very versatile as far as that's concerned. From those that I know of that do FT8 and use the ICOM IC705. D-Star expands your options. Analog and digital voice in one radio. D-Star digital voice operation, terminal and access point nodes, DPRS, repeater search, and picture sharing. I don't believe we have D-Star where I'm located. I think it's Jesus Fusion. So that's something that you can, if you're so inclined. It all depends on the area that you're in. I don't know as far as, other, other areas are concerned. But, they're real similar, Fusion and D-Star. They're something that are really kind of a lot alike. So, if you're doing that, that's fantastic. And I haven't done Fusion yet. I know I'm pretty sure Fusion is what's in my area, and we don't have D-Star here in the local area that I'm in. But it's located in other parts of Florida as well too. So, but it does work, and it does work very well from those that I know of that are using that. So let's go ahead and move on here. Travel light or run the full 10 watts and 5 watts from the included BP272 battery, up to 10 watts from a 13.8 volt source having an external battery like a Bioenno, and output adjustable down to 0.1 of a watt. And I've used it at 5 watts and I've used it at 10 watts, and it works exceptionally well on either one. Is what I can say. I've been really pleased with the performance of this radio, and just I hook up my vertical Chameleon MPAS 2.0 out in the backyard, and I run the coax inside, and I'm at it, and I have a great time, and I have a lot of fun, and I make a lot of contacts, and it's so stinking easy to use. It really is, and that's the thing that probably I like about it the most. It's just incredibly easy to use. And yeah, you can adjust that down to 1/10 of a watt. I don't know a lot of people that do something like that, but you have the capability of doing that. And then, of course, it's easy to get it set up to a 13.8 volt source, like a Bioenno battery. So if you're going out and doing POTA and you're going to be there for a few hours, that will really come in handy. Now the 5 watt, having those batteries and having the extended battery really kind of lends itself, like, if you're in a pinch and you want to get on the air, you can do that if you don't want to take time to hook up like a Bioenno to get 13.8 volts on that. But it works, and it works really well. I've been really pleased with that. Plus, when you carry, if you're doing something like, if you're doing POTA, for example, and you want to do 10 watts, you have to carry that 13.8 volt source, the Bioenno battery, and it adds more onto your gear that you have to take, versus if you want to do just 5 watts from the included battery, or even the upgraded battery, it makes it a little bit easier. You don't have to carry that, but you're also, that battery's going to wear down a whole lot faster than, say, like a Bioenno would. Chris, good to see you. Thanks for stopping by today. The waterfall changes field operating, and see the band instead of tuning blindly, okay? Spot active stations quickly, find a clear frequency at a glance, watch interference and band activity develop, and all of that is very true. And I'll tell you what, waterfalls and spectrums have changed everything as far as ham radio is concerned, and it makes it, it used, back in the day, and this was before I started in ham radio, it was what I heard a lot of people call, hunt and peck kind of thing, trying to find somebody on a band, and it was very tedious, and it wasn't as easy as it is today. And you can see what bands are really popping. You can see what bands are really kind of quiet. It makes it very easy to go out there and engage people, and and have some rag chews with them. It really does. And It's, and what I love about it, that screen is so adjustable. You can adjust the width of the spectrum and the waterfall and just colors and everything. I mean, there's a whole lot that you can do with that, which is absolutely fantastic here. Okay, 4.3-inch color TFT touchscreen, and I can't say enough about that. It makes it programming this radio so stinking easy. Direct access to modes, filters, and settings, which you have. Familiar workflow for modern ICOM owners, and again, it speaks to what Ray said. As far as looking at that, looking at a 7300, looking at a 9700. Their menus, their controls, everything is really very much the same as far as that's concerned. But that screen up front really sells this radio, and it really sold me on this radio. And I just, it's going to be one of those ones you're going to have to pry my dead hands off of, because I don't think this is a radio that's ever going to be out there for sale. It's just so good, and I enjoy it absolutely so much. Now, one of the things that they haven't mentioned is, they have there's an SD card on here, and you can record your QSOs, and you can also have pre-recordings out there for when you're doing POTA, for example. You can throw your CQ out there and just get that out there, and also your information regarding POTA. Instead of having to repeat that all the time whenever somebody calls in. So that really helps, and that's a nice feature to have that. HF 6 meters, 2 meters, and 70 centimeters. SSB, CW, RTTY, AM, FM, and D-Star DB. FM broadcast and civil airband reception. I mean, it's just it's the kitchen sink. It really has it all. Having that capability of having 2 meters and 70 centimeters on here as well is just absolute, and 6 meters is just absolutely fantastic. And UHF, VHF, on all-in-one radio with HF as well too. It's really it's kind of a gold mine as far as radios are concerned. I mean, it just really lends itself to being able to do everything in one package. The only caveat is if you're going to go out and you want to use UHF VHF, you got to hook up a UHF VHF antenna on it as well too. And of course, there's 2 ports for that as well. Base station features portable size, SDR receiver, scope, and waterfall, and we've kind of already touched on that. GPS, Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, and micro SD storage. And yeah, I spoke too soon about the micro SD storage. And POTA, SOTA, travel, emergency, or home station. And it really is. It's very versatile. I mean, you can use it for whatever you're going to do. And you can see on the back over here on the sides, you can see the 2 places to hook your antennas up as well too here. 2 radios combine this much so well, and it's very, very true here. The IC705's greatest strength is not one feature. It's how many different kinds of amateur radio operation ICOM places into one compact, polished package. Efficient antennas and realistic QRP expectations still matter. And that's very true. You need, a lot of people get this radio and they think, oh my, I'm going to be able to talk to, do some DX over into Europe or Asia or South America, and that's not a realistic possibility with a QRP radio. Although my good friend Walt may disagree with me. If he's on the shore and he's using the ocean right in front of him, there's a chance that he could do that. You could do that with something like that. I know he was real, with his Zygu, he could do that. But that kind of pushed out 20 watts. The most you can get on this is 10 watts. So, really kind of set expectations for you. My very first contact on the 705 was someone in Arizona. Arizona's over 1,000 miles away from where I live. So, probably closer to 2,000. So, that's a pretty good contact, I thought, for something like that. And again, I'm operating on what I was operating on 5 watts. So that's pretty doggone good. So set some realistic expectations. If you're not a QRP person, I happen to be one. But if you're not, you kind of have to kind of gear yourself down as far as that's concerned. And I know a lot of you guys, Andy, Cooley, and Chris, I'm preaching to the choir on that. But, it bears worth repeating is, if you're new to QRP and if you're new to something like a 705, you really need to level set your expectations in terms of what you'll be able to accomplish with this. Because, again, if you get 10 watts out there, you could do pretty well. And if you have a setup like Walt did, where he's right near the salt water, I mean that's made a whole lot of difference. In a lot of those contacts he's made, especially like with his Zyku, the 90, and it really helps when you have something like the ocean to help as far as your propagation is concerned. But set some realistic expectations when you use this radio. So again, this is my favorite radio by far. I mean, I love all my radios. I love my HTs as well. But for me, this one has I was sold on it from day one. I was so happy when that box with DX Engineering tape came on it, and it's been a staple ever since. I can't tell you guys how much I enjoy it. I'm real thankful to have that POV cage, and I actually built a go bag with it, and I have different antennas in there, and it's set up, in case of an emergency, I can just grab that bag, it's ready to go, and I rotate the batteries in and out of there as well too. So all in all, like I said, it's just you can't beat it. It's a great value for the dollar, even around $1,200-$1,300. I really think so. I really think it's one of those things that has a lasting value. And like I said, for me, that's not going away. That's going to be around forever as far as that's concerned. So, heck, on 10 watts on the G90. Oh, okay, all right, wow, okay, Chris, that's awesome. See, yeah, and that's what I said. A lot of it depends on propagation. If the bands are good, and especially if you look at the solar forecast, you may be able to do things like that, like Chris did. That's fantastic. Um, oh wow, okay, Sergeant Rock, absolutely, that's fantastic. Wow, wow. See, I like that. That's good stuff. Thank you for posting that. I haven't had that kind of success, probably because I'm a little bit more on the west coast of Florida than on the east coast. But I've been pretty impressed with some of the contacts I've made here. Mostly all mostly in North America, and I got to confess, a lot of the times I'm not running 10 watts. Only running 5 watts. So for what the contacts that I've made with the distances they're at, I feel really good. And um, I really haven't used it a lot at 10 watts and have hook up the Biona to it, but I'm gonna do that, and that's one of the things that's on my bucket list of things to do coming up within recent memory, is to go out there, hook up the Biona to it, and get the nice Chameleon MPAS vertical up there and get going. Now, one of the things that I'm going to get from a Chameleon MPAS 2.0 vertical is I'm going to be getting some more radials for it. And there's a set that DX Engineering has that's specifically for it. I've read that it's really helped improve antenna performance in your SWR, so I'm going to go ahead and go out and do that. So, want to thank all you guys for showing up. Cooley was here today. Welcome. Thank you, Cooley, for stopping by. Chris, Sergeant Rock, Waypoint New England. Thank you guys so much. I appreciate you guys, taking time out of your Wednesday afternoon to spend, a half hour or so with us. It's great. You guys absolutely rock. All of you rock. Thank you for watching us. And again, I also want to reach out to those of you that are watching us on Bill the Technology Reviewer and also on Ham Radio Divas. Ham Radio Divas has grown exponentially. It's doubled its subscribers because of being able to share this broadcast. So I want to thank all of you who are watching us on all these mediums. As always, guys, it's a great day to make a QSO. 7-3s, everybody. Have a great rest of your evening and week.